And welcome to Hannity. And tonight, new bombshell allegations surrounding the Biden family syndicate. John Solomon is here with new details tonight. Also, thanks to Joe, a new border town has emerged. Chicago, Illinois. Thousands of illegal immigrants stream into the Windy City. Its residents are already reeling from a crime crisis that continues to spiral. Take a look.
My brother Christian had the potential to do well in life, but Christian will never have the opportunity to go to college.
Our friend Gianno Caldwell, he'll join us in a moment with more. Now, first, Joe Biden at the UAW picket line in Michigan earlier today, at least pretending to show his support behind striking auto workers. They're demanding a large pay increase to keep up with rampant inflation caused by Joe Biden. They're also asking for a 32-hour work week, something Biden could definitely get behind since he only works a few hours a week. Joe reportedly now wakes up late, goes to bed early, spends almost all of his weekends resting and relaxing in Delaware, and he's taken more days off than any president in history. And your 80-year-old commander-in-chief just doesn't have the energy, the stamina to deal with the rigors of a traditional presidential schedule. Should be the toughest job in the world. Is he up to it? I'm not sure he could be a Walmart greeter. And now another growing concern for the Biden White House, that would be his mobility. Look at this report from Axios. There is a critical new mission for Biden's staffers. Operation Don't Let Joe Fall Again. Given his frail condition, the president could be just one trip away from becoming seriously injured, or worse, it could also mean politically his demise. Now, even if Biden survives a fall without injury, that might still confirm voters' very real, very deep concerns about his age, his physical strength, his cognitive abilities, because they're obvious in decline. We're watching it in real time. According to Axios, quote, Biden's team is taking extra steps to prevent him from stumbling in public, as he did in June. Remember, he even has a hard time getting up there when he tripped over a sandbag at the Air Force Academy. Now, these steps include regular physical therapy now for the president, new slip-resistant tennis shoes, and, of course, say bye-bye to the regular steps on Air Force One. Well, Biden's mobility issues have become so bad that he now relies on the short steps. That's a lower deck on the plane. It's easier to walk up those than the big steps. Anyway, pretty soon, I guess even those steps might become more than the president can handle. And you got it. Right after they launch this operation, right there, Joey slips and loses his footing. Thank goodness he didn't fall. Almost slid down the steps while deplaning. Not a great start for Operation Keep Joe from ever falling again. Officially, the White House says Biden's struggles with balance are related to arthritis. But given his history with brain aneurysms, yeah, many experts and just common sense Americans are more than worried that a degenerative mental condition might very well be to blame, especially given Joe's struggle with language and short-term memory. Listen to Biden describe an initiative to bolster the U.S. Pacific Island partnership, an important alliance given China's aggression. Take a look.
Strong growth begins with a strong infrastructure. So today, I'm pleased to announce we're working with Congress to invest $40 billion in our Pacific Islands Infrastructure Initiative. We call it the PI anyway. It doesn't matter what we call it, but that's what it is. I was going to get back to acronyms, and I'm going to withstand not doing that.
Why bother remembering an acronym? Who cares what we call it? Whatever your politics, most rational Americans can honestly agree that your President Joe Biden lacks the mental acuity to be an effective president. Would you hire him to be a Walmart greeter? And it's only getting worse. But for some reason, Joe is running for re-election. Why? Honestly, who thinks that is a good idea? According to an NBC News poll, look at this, 2/3 of Democratic voters, they want somebody other than Biden to run. These are unprecedented numbers. Joe Biden is in deep trouble. So naturally, he turned to world-renowned loser Hillary Clinton for advice. She reportedly is warning him to, quote, take seriously the possibility of third-party candidates and they siphoning off votes. Now, she should probably also tell Joe about Wisconsin. She forgot to visit that state in 2016, something maybe deep down inside she deeply regrets as she continues her election denialism by saying they're going to do it again. Trump is going to work with Russia again. The only one that worked with Russia is her, with her dirty Russian misinformation dossier she paid for. Now, so far, Joe has been hit hard by liberals that I never thought we'd really see attacking Democratic president. Maureen Dowd, David Ignatius, even liberal Joe, David Axelrod, Van Jones, James Carville. And then Carville hit him again when he went on Bill Maher's podcast and hit him even harder. Now, unfortunately for Democrats, Joe is ignoring all the advice, and at this point, he can barely keep up with his day job, much less nonstop action of a campaign, aside, of course, from the few rare appearances away from the East Coast and a couple of private fundraisers. And when he's at the fundraisers, now we have reports that he tells a story. And a few minutes later, to the same group, tells a story again. What is that a sign of? Joe's not really campaigning. He'll be in the basement bunker soon enough. Now, despite all the bad polls, he's treating his re-election campaign like a coronation. Even today's photo op at the UAW picket line lasted all of 15 minutes, including a 5-minute speech. Let's be clear. He doesn't care what is happening in these negotiations. That was just a show appearance. He only showed up because Joe is hemorrhaging support among union workers, and frankly, for good reason. If his radical Green New Deal policies take hold, many of their jobs will be lost. Electric vehicles means less UAW workers are needed. And between the environmental regulations, new corporate taxes, the electric vehicle quotas, union staff factories in Michigan will be unaffordable. All the remaining jobs will be exported or automated. This is another inconvenient truth for Democrats and unions. Middle-class Joe has always been, continues to be a farce. He might be at the picket line today, but he sides with the elitists, the climate alarmist religious cult members, 100% of the time. And despite their humble roots, both Joe and Dr. Jill Biden, they're disgusted by the middle class. They are longtime social climbers who will do whatever it takes to fit in with the blue bloods of Washington, D.C. They want to be invited to the parties. And today's elites, they just care more about their climate alarmism, lacking in science, than good-paying American jobs. And meanwhile, what would Donald Trump do? Well, he'd actually help the UAW out and help them keep their great career-paying jobs by hitting China like he did before with massive tariffs.